Hey, it's Jeremy again. I'm going to be showing you how to create a quick business card mock in Illustrator. So we're going to be creating like a flat version of a mockup. Instead of going in Photoshop, you can create a simple one in Illustrator just to, show your logo design or a business card. So what we're going to do is press M for the rectangle tool. And you see my mouse changes. You got your shape tools on the left-hand side here. So if you just right-click on that square, you can see you got, rounded rectangle tool, the ellipse tool, polygon, and so forth, which you can use. But we're just going to stick with the normal rectangle tool. And because a business card is roughly a rectangle, sometimes it's more of a square shape. But we're just going to left click and drag out a rough rectangle. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to press Shift X to switch that and turn the stroke off. So you can see you got the fill in the stroke. You can press Shift X to flip it, switch it, or press X to switch which one is selected. You can also press this little red line or / to cut it off, the fill or the stroke. So we've got this rectangle and I'll just make it a gray color. I'm going to make a copy of it and bring it on top. So what I want to do is just select both of them now and just scale it up slowly by holding Shift and Alt. So we keep the proportions, and I'll just keep it in the middle roughly. So cool. So what we're going to do is leave this one behind. So I'm going to make it a darker gray, and we'll keep this one white for now. And we'll make the stroke. So we're going to turn the stroke now. I'm going to select the shape and make the stroke, and we'll use the same gray as we used this one. So you can see, yep, and I'm going to just up the stroke there. So make it really thin so you can just see it and it's an outline. And, maybe this business card is going to be black. Sorry, not black, just white. But if you want to make a color, then we can, turn it and make it like a color or whatever. But we're just going to leave it white for now. So we've got our, card in the background. We're presuming that this card is going to be single-sided. If it wasn't single-sided, then we won't have this behind there, and we'll have it like next to it, which I'll probably do next as well. And I'll show you how to do that. So we've got this, and now, we'll just quickly make a logo. Whoop. Let's go. So I'm just bumping up the kerning. And then we'll just center this. So we're going to pretend this is our logo. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this. I've grouped it together. I'm going to select this object. Just keep it like this. And I'm going to select both these objects. And what we're going to do is select, once you select them both by holding Shift, you can just left click on the back card. And then you got these align options. So it's going to align this group to this rectangle, as you can see there. So now it's roughly centered. But you can see here, you got some spacing. It recognizes the whole box, but it's not really centered to this J. And so you might have to just drag it down a bit. And then, I might add some color. Cool. So yeah, there. We've just made a simple looking business card. And, we can add some more details. So maybe I wanted to add a bit of a shadow. So I can select this and I can go to my appearance panel. If you go to Window Appearance, you can select that there. Go to FX and go to Stylize and Drop Shadow. And we're going to click the Preview button. So you'll get this box pop up and you can play around with it. So if you press Preview, you can see it's going to add a shadow. I like to roughly have about maybe 3. And I'll drop the opacity to about 35%. And then I'll drop the offset to about maybe 4. So pretty much X is the one that goes right and Y is the one that goes down. So you can see it's going more diagonal. So you can play around if you want it to more show, but I like to have it just subtle. So I'll just have it on 4. And actually, I might bump the blur a little bit. And the opacity, 30%. Make sure you tick preview so you can see it. And then press OK. So you can see they're having that subtle, you know, drop shadow. Gives it makes it pop, and makes it stand out. It looks a bit more 3D. So we can go to our appearance panel and I can turn that off. So you can see what it looks like. If you want it really flat, you can leave it like that. But if you want a little bit of shadow, go back to the appearance and turn it on. Like that, and you get that subtle shadow. So this is one way of doing it. I'm going to show you another way. So if it's a double-sided card, I'll just duplicate this. So I'm going to just select those together, hold Alt and Shift, drag this across. Just make it a bit smaller. And maybe you want the 2 cards next to each other like this. Or you can have it like a little bit overlapping. You can have it overlapping like that. You know, you can make it like a nice mock-up like that. You can do it many ways, and you can show it in your presentation to make it look nice if you don't want to use Photoshop. So you can see here you've got our strokes, and if we just delete those strokes, I want to select these objects and press / on the stroke to get rid of that. You can see with the drop shadow, it adds like a nice touch. It makes it look like it's floating, like it's a real card. Another way you can add a shadow instead of the drop shadow is I'll just turn this off for a second. So I'll go to my appearance panel, turn that off, and I'll just make a square. Make sure it's the proper sizing, and I'll just select a black color and bring it below that. And what I like to do is just turn the opacity up the top here, go opacity, and we'll make that about 30%, a bit lower. If you want that like harder shadow in the bottom, I'll just put the stroke back on. So if you want like a more of a harder shadow there, you can do it that way instead of having the drop shadow. So it just depends how you want it to look. So I'll delete that, and I'll just turn this stroke off, and I'll put back the drop shadow. We got that, and then, you know, you'll add your other details. I'll go get in touch. We'll go, and we'll select that and center it. I'll just make a stroke. We'll go zigzag this. Go to my stroke panel, just bump that up. Just playing around now. Select these. So just playing around. Yeah, so you can see there, you can do it this way as well. And then it makes it look a lot more professional. So if you play around with this, you can, you know, add heaps of different mockups. You know, you can do it for labels and all that stuff. And maybe I'll do a video on that, you know, how to make it do like a label or something like that. And yeah, just like that, you can create the illusion of a business card, whether it's one-sided or two-sided. And if you just play around, you know, you can really make it look nice and professional. And yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know in the comments below what you think and what videos you want to see. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you want to see some more design content and expand your creativity. So yeah, thanks guys, and I'll see you next time.